Good afternoon, everyone. This is the production line concept. And I need to explain a little bit to you about that so that you understand where I'm coming from. Now, let's walk through a production line. You got a car coming off the production line, and as it's coming off the production line, you're adding little parts to it, little parts to it. You got to put the motor in, you got to put the seats in, you got to put the wheels on, you put the brakes on, you put the headlights on, and when it comes off the assembly line, that car is supposed to serve people, serve them in the right way, and it's a finished product. Now, stop and think for a moment. Mom's the factory, dad is in charge of quality control. So you have this little child come on the scene, and it's right there. Now what? You're just going to let it go down through the production line of life and teach it nothing? What's going to happen? What's going to happen with it? Do we take the time that we need to do to put all of the things on that child's going to need to be able to be a success in life? It's got to go through it. So you've got the child, and it's starting out right down there at the beginning. It's born, and now you start teaching it. What do you teach? Who taught you how to teach it? Did someone show you how, or did you just become one? You became a production manager. Mom became the factory and then produced this little object. And I remember the first time that we had this little shaver, and I looked at my wife and she looked at me, and we said, now what do we do? Where do we go from here? And then we asked God to give us the wisdom and the knowledge that you need, because God is the creator. He created it. So we had asked God to give us that wisdom and that knowledge. And so you've got to start to train the child. You're going to send it out there without any brakes on it? It doesn't know how to stop. It doesn't have any lights on it, so it can't see where it's going. All of those things. And we're bringing them out in other classes later on, but I wanted to give you the production line concept. Dad's in charge of quality control. If you're out fishing and you're out doing everything else and just leaving it to the wife, where's Dad's responsibility? It's not there because he's gone. And that's what's happened in our system and society. We figure that, well, that's Mom's job, that's his job. God designed it as a pair. He designed it as a team. You don't have one person building the whole car. You have several people with different knowledges that come together to give you the wisdom that you need to have. Because nobody taught you how to be a parent. You became one. It's not taught at school. It's not that, yet the government knows the important things of these, and they're trying to take over all of the teaching of your children. And it's not necessarily what you would like. Now, I may get edited for that, but nevertheless, it's the truth. And so think of those things. So here comes a child, and it's coming along all of these steps. You teach it how to make right decisions and in life. And we're going to have a class on that later, how to teach to make right decisions. But remember, it's a production line. You've got just so much time to teach that child what it needs to be a perfect individual at the end of its growth. Now, that child is 18 years old. What happens now? You can, they have something that they call in the auto industry a recall. If they goofed up somewhere in the factory or they made a mistake, they can say, bring that car in. It's a recall. How do you recall an 18-year-old? You don't. You got one chance to do it right. And so you've got to be aware of that, and that's Dad's responsibility. He's production manager. So as it's coming along, you've got to be aware of what's happening, what's being planted in the child's mind. And of course, that's That's another whole class all in itself. The mind. What do you allow to be planted there? What are the seeds? Whatever seed that's planted in that child's mind is what's going to grow. What do you want? You want junk, or do you want a nice, courteous, polite child that's going to be a success in the world and help other young people and later on help all of mankind? Now you can recall a car, but you can't recall an 18-year-old. You have one chance to do it right. So you've got to think and prepare yourself for that. And that takes a little education on your part. I know we get so busy living, we don't have time for the living, and that's our children. And then therefore they grow up to be a lemon. Is that what you want to come off of your child's life, to be a lemon in the society of this world? But look around. Look at many of the young people that are there. You know, it almost makes you cry when you begin to see what has happened to the young people and the children of today. I mean, 14 years old, carrying guns and shooting other people. That's just a tip of the iceberg. You hear it all the time on the news. Young people, 12, 13, 14 years old, their lives are ruined. They've ruined they come out as a lemon. They're not a fine finished product like comes off the assembly line like you want. I don't want my children to be like me. I know what I'm like. I want them to be better than me. And so do you as a parent. You want your children to be better than you because you know the things that you've done in life. I mean, you did it and did what you wanted to do, what you thought was right. But because the seeds weren't planted in you either, this is the end result. So you've got to take the time to train, teach, and educate as the child grows. You know, they always say the terrible twos. What are the terrible twos? There's no such thing as terrible twos. They're children that have been let go and do what they want, when they want, and how they want. And you have to realize children aren't stupid. I mean, from the time they're born, they know, hey, time to be fed. So what do? I yell and scream and holler till I get fed. I want to be nursed. I'm ready. Give me that. And so it's already programmed in their mind. And you have to be able to decipher those things and know what they are, clean them up, fix them up, so that the end of the production line at 18 years old, when it's on its own, is going to be a perfect little individual. No kids are angels, I'm not saying that. But they can be a whole lot better than what they are out there because they're not taught those things. And you've got just so much time. You have 18 summers or 16 summers of time to be with your kids, to teach them, to help them, to show them creation, all the other advantages to helping guide and direct the children in the right way. So build quality children, not lemons.